So before we settle into the 7 gestures and feelings in the body, you might need to micromanage things. You might need some shoulder movement or a slight turning of the head, or you might need to rub your legs or arrange yourself. So feel free to kind of get ready to sit for a little while. Good. So when you're ready, just allow the resting on the underside of the body. So there's a settling down through the sit bones, the base of your pelvis. And you might want to just bring yourself forwards a little and then slowly come back up to allow the sit bones to kind of lay themselves down. Just imagine the sit bones softening a little into the surface you're sitting on. And then there's the sense of the thighs extending away. So an ease within the groin, ease at the top of the legs, down the line of the thigh bone or the bulk of the thigh, the weight of the thigh, the resting of the lower legs. It's almost as if the knees continue to extend away a little. So nicely established. If you're on the cushion on the floor, triangular base, or a nice sense of settling if you're on a chair. Dropping through the heels if you're on a chair, feeling the sole of the foot spread. So it's almost heel back and down, knee forwards and away. And if you're on the floor, you can think of the kind of stability of that triangular base, sit bones out through the knees. And although the pelvis rests, there's still a feeling of ease to the pelvis. It's almost got its own organic quality. You may find shifting or moving or even sensation there as you breathe. So you just pay attention to the pelvis, perhaps the sacrum in particular and the sit bones. Maybe the sacroiliac joints if you know where they are. And you can find that the pelvis relaxes to support you. It's not an immobile thing. It's got a life of its own. So the base of the body. Then bring your attention to the very bottom of the mobile spine, bottom lumbar vertebrae. Just imagine the vertebrae above that softly lifting away. And the one above that. The one above that, and the one above that. You're then about level with the bottom of your rib cage. It's almost as if the whole rib cage lifts away from the pelvis. It's subtle. something you feel as much as do. There's lots of lower body space, lots of ease and playful pliability there. It's free to move. And that soft ascension continues up the spine. Each vertebrae from now on is connected to a pair of ribs. So as the ribs kind of fan away from the vertebrae, you can imagine the vertebrae lifting and the ribs softly separating a little more. So the rib cage has a lot of space. The upper body energies have room. And each of those connections of ribs to spine are jointed. So the ribs have movement to them. Until you get to the spine of the neck, cervical spine if you like. Then you carry on up. Think of that coming up into the underside of your skull. So there's a soft lengthening through the back of the neck, almost as if the tissue or the skin of the back of the neck lengthens. Let's go at the top. So the skull relaxes, the cranial base, back of the neck, occiput area, hairline at the back. There's a sense of the front of the throat dropping back and up a little, so the chin can find a nice line. Relax the upper jaw, let the lower jaw relax. Mouth can be slightly open. Bring the tongue very lightly to meet the upper palate, the tip of your tongue just behind the top teeth, very light contact between the tongue and the roof of the mouth, which of course is the cranial base. The muscular of the tongue, although it's resting there, is relaxed. There's space in the mouth. Space between the lips. And just let the energy of the breath come through both nose and mouth together. It moves back and then distributes up and down together, into the head, down into the body. Eyes are softly, softly open. Relax inside the head. Very top of the brain, of the spinal cord into the brain. Almost as if the crown's gently drawn up and the body's dropping beneath. Soft rising and settling at the same time. So opposite polarities on the vertical. Pelvis settling perhaps on each out-breath. Body softly unfolding, opening perhaps on the in-breath. The posture isn't heavy or inert, but it is grounded. Check that the shoulders are dropping away. Feel the weight on the back of the arms. Shoulder blades down the back and sides. Elbows heavy. Weight of the tricep, back arm. Hands resting where you've placed them. Almost as if the skin over the shoulders moves over those shoulders and back and down, like the hang of a cape. The skin around the back of the thighs over the bottom and up into the lower backs, almost pulling up as the skin of the upper back's dropping down. Back of the waist is broad. Let the breath play. So you have a spacious body. It's opening and unraveling. Can you bring the breath just to playfully investigate the spaces you're making, the room in the body? Feel the breath play throughout, kind of permeating inner breath. Ideally with that soft nose and mouth breathing, that gentle lift and placement of the tongue. The flow of the breath up and down together, into the head, down through the body. And the sensation of breathing is permeating, it's spreading. Ripples on a pond. So the body is imbued with feeling and awareness. The breath is flowing. You might want to let your awareness drop a little somewhere in the body. You'll find a point you can rest on or rest with. Don't think about it too much. Be quite quick in dropping in. Instinctive as to where. When you've found somewhere, when you've landed, that light settling, like a dandelion seed, just slowly floating down, or like snow settling overnight. You let your landing of awareness then rest with the sensation you're on. So quiet awareness meets sensation somewhere. And stay there. Almost listening to the feeling you're with. It might be quite subtle, or it may be a particular niggle and quite obvious. It's got no value judgment. There's nothing to work out. You just rest with it. Stay there. You may find that as you rest with it, and the kind of listening attitude, the quietude of the body, will allow the sensation just to relax and open up a little or a lot. So the feeling opens up. The sensation can unravel. If it's stubborn, or it's a sensation that's a quite pervasive niggle, perhaps, as opposed to something you can settle with easily, you might just need to stoke it a little, tease it a little with your breathing. So simply bring the energy of the breath there. So you've got awareness, sensation, and breath mingling or co-mingling together. If you get distracted, you can always come back or even drop in on another area. You'll find as you wait with sensation and as you relax, as the sensation relaxes, its boundaries become less obvious. It dissolves to a degree and spreads. Think of it like an effervescent tablet in water. Awareness and sensation come together. And the feeling grows. And again, breathing is the sustainer. It helps you stay with it. Could even help the sensation loosen up by loosening up the breathing, kind of mental ha or ah, almost a melting of the out breath. And we get very good at dancing our awareness around between breathing, between sensation, between instruction. Can you almost have a sense of just feeling everything together? Let the mind be very open or spacious. And we could interchange the word mind here with awareness. Let your awareness be as pervasive as breath. Feeling, relaxing, unfolding.